And Joique, I go to you, obviously, in this scenario, because I think the line is drawn with professional sports where, and more so I think in the NFL than anything else, because there's only 16 games. I'm of the opinion, Dan Campbell's right, they're 0-7, because when you look it up in the standings, it says Detroit Lions 0-7. There are no moral victories, are there, or no, Joique, in the NFL?
It's for sure moral victories.
Is there really?
Yeah, you do have those. Now, that's like for the fans. No, I'm
talking about you in that locker room, the players. You're not feeling that, are you?
Nah. But for the fans, yes. As a player, no. You win or you lose.
Yeah.
You win or go home. Put up or shut up. You know all the sayings.
But
you know all the sayings.
I think as a player, what he mentioned as coming back to work and being ready and stick, to the game plan means they believe in the process, right? The execution's not there. The moral victory is the fact that, okay, I believe we're going somewhere. I believe we're building something. So to have everybody committed to that, right? That's the moral victory, is that the guys aren't looking at 0-7 like the fans are, like the media is, and looking like, okay, we did a lot of good things, but we got to get better, and we're back here to work. Are the guys putting in the work? That's all I want to hear, because Dan Campbell from day one we're gonna from whistle to whistle, we're gonna play our hearts out. Yeah. Right here. Attaboy, Sawyer. There it is. And he even beat me to the punch, right? 7 of what? 34. Okay. So what I keep hearing is guys are here to work the process. What do we see? Joique, let me ask you this. You do not execute onside kicks, fake punts, special teams without commitment, execution by every guy there. So
I'm gonna tell you this.
That's the moral victory. It doesn't get you anything, but the guys that are in the specialty teams, right? They're going in there today. They're feeling good about themselves. They're feeling good that they did what they could do, and so coach is bringing them stuff, and it's just not garbage. That's what I'm saying. That's the building. Moral victory is, do you see building? Right? So that's what I ask you. Like, if you're a special teams guy, right? You get the fake punch, the 2 onside kicks. Like, how are you feeling today?
You know what? I will feel really, really good if we can capitalize on those with touchdowns.
Right. But that's the growth. That's the growth. That's the next step.
So, and that was hard. And I was hard on Jared Goff's play. And I would say this game. He stayed in there. He took some hits. He delivered a pass with Aaron Rodgers right in his face. He threw an interception, but I saw what he was trying to do. He stayed in the pocket a couple of times trying to make the pass. Now, with that being said, his arm talent isn't up there to be able to make those passes under that type of pressure. So when I look at the fake punts, right, the onside kick, these are things that we're doing because we know we need help. Right.
No, I understand that. But you executed.
Right, but the thing is, you call it a moral victory. I will call it expectations. This is just our expectation going into this game.
But hear me out. Listen, you have to look for the positives, and the guys see the positives. They can't. You're right, Jared Goff. I thought that he stood in there. He played with more balls. Mm-hmm. He tried, took some hits. So that was there. The arm talent's not there. But what I'm saying is that to execute the special teams, to be all on the same page, to get it done, that's part of the process. Now, the next step of the process is using that like great teams do and executing and making it into big points, 14 points instead of the 7 or instead of field goals. That's the process. So, the effort's there. The talent's not. You nailed it. And it starts with the quarterback. He doesn't have the arm that other guys do, like Stafford does, to throw it into windows, guys that we see around the league. So, but the effort's there. So if that's a moral victory or whatever it is, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean wins and losses, but it means that here's the game plan, the guys believe in it, and they execute.
The thing that concerns me, though, is this, and Dom Rivera says if they play like how they played last week, I think we have a chance to get our first win this weekend. And Terry Foster sat in that chair yesterday and brought up a very good point. He said, we said all the same things going into the Cincinnati game, and they played their worst game of the season. And D-Mac, you talk about growth, and we have the hashtag 2023 movement across the whole city of Detroit. I'm still working with folks to get those lines of T-shirts printed up and stuff like that. I should do that, actually. It probably would work by each team's color or whatever. But anyway, for me, and this has been your talk all along. And D-Mac, you've really opened my eyes, like through the Red Wing stuff and into this. There are two separate camps, right? When you can be bad but have growth, and still lose but still have growth. Both things can be true.
It's got to be a process. Let's look around the league, right? And I know, but I look at our team, and you got to learn. Like, let's take the Red Wings, right? Because, I'll talk the hockey. There's a process of learning how to win. Do you know, like, where we're at right now with every team, then there's another stage of suck, right? That's where you're good enough, where you compete, where you get there, and then you climb the hill, hence us in the early 90s before we got over the top.
But then
right?
you get kicked back down the
hill. And you get kicked back down, and that's a different resiliency that you have to earn. So you have to look at it to say, like, the Lions are in the first spot, but they're actually moving towards going to the second step. That's why the clock, that's why 7 of 34. And I agree. I like when, right now what Dom said is, where are they going to be at 20 of 34? Where are they going to be at 18? These are just different steps. The Red Wings are the same way. The Pistons are the same way. The Tigers are the same way, every which way. You look at the big week it is in college football in this state. We got these two helmets right here, 7-0, 7-0, right? There's this expectation. They've played themselves into higher expectations, especially Michigan State, who nobody thought they'd be here. But now, rubber hits the road. Let's play the game. We'll see what they're made of. So you got to look at the different steps and embrace the different points of suck.
Joique, do you see that, though, as a guy who, was with the Lions as they come up and they reached probably, again, we always talk about that 2014 team as probably the pinnacle of Lions football in the last, going on 2 decades, man. You're starting to push 20 years. In the last 20 years, that was the best Lions team. Do you see that in this team? Just in terms of like a process, like a growth. Do you see that, or am I making too much of that?
What you see in this team on the defensive side is the same mentality of we're going to go out there as far as give the same amount of effort. The effort from 2014, the effort now is the same. The talent was not the same, right? And so when you have an offense that's not really giving you much, right? That's not giving you much. It's tough for this type of defense to be out there majority of the game and perform at a high level. The best bet, we talked about what did they need to do to go into this game to win. They did everything they could do defensively and on special teams to put the offense in position to walk away with the game, right? And we didn't capitalize. And we asked, we say, we don't have the receiving core and we talk about that. We talk about how Matthew Stafford had Kenny Golladay, how he had Marvin Jones. But you look at Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones right now, they're averaging 50-something yards a game.
They're just regular.
They have Matt Stafford.
Right.
I think.
So hold up. So that's what I'm getting to the point of. So we had the Matthew Stafford, a guy who we took for granted. We took his arm for granted, and now he goes to L.A. and now he has a receiver that's about to break the record all time for fantasy points in a Cooper Cup. And so was it the receivers, or was it Matthew Stafford throwing to these receivers and not taking anything away from these guys, because these guys put in work. These guys are good players, but you also have to take into consideration the quarterback that they had at the time, and that's one thing that we don't have right now.